But I do want to start by acknowledging that we are meeting on the traditional, unceded, and unsurrendered territory of the Algonquin and Anishinaabe people. The acknowledgement is important for many, many reasons, but for me personally, it's extremely important as a reminder that we have to learn from the original stewards of this land. They have lived on this land for a very long time. And as we build our lives on this land, we have a lot to learn from Indigenous people, from their history, from their culture, from their traditions, and be better stewards of this land. And that's for me, why I always start my remarks with that acknowledgement as a reminder to myself. I'm always grateful to come and visit Operation Come Home. This is one of my many trips here, and I always enjoy coming here to see some incredible people. Some of them are here, and thank you for taking time from your busy schedule for the good work that you do with youth in our community. This is an incredible secret gem, hidden gem in Centertown in terms of the work that you do every single day in creating new opportunities for our youth in the community. Right behind these flags is actually a school where young people get their high school education at their own pace. It's a partnership with, I believe, with both Ottawa Carleton and Ottawa Catholic School Boards, if am I correct? And it's amazing to see some young people being here, if you come in the middle of the day, doing their homework and really sort of working hard to rebuild their lives. This is the kind of stuff that Operation Come Home does. We're in the middle of January now, and we know weather has been really cold. This time more than ever highlights the needs for the kind of things that we're talking about today, to ensure that we're doing everything in our capacity to avoid homelessness, especially for young people, to create opportunity for them to have a warm, safe place to live. Just a week ago, somebody passed away tragically down the street from here. They were found not well, not alive, in a very cold winter night. That should not happen in our society. That should not happen in the capital city of Canada. We have to do everything possible to ensure that there are supports necessary for members of our community, for whatever reason, find themselves at a place where they have to find shelter on the street.
And I did talk a bit about this, as we've heard not just today, but multiple times from many witnesses, that this is an extremely vulnerable population. Would you agree to that?
I would agree that lots of people with substance use disorders have aspects of vulnerability. There are lots of people who have substance use disorders who are highly functioning people in our society as well. I go back to the idea that really people...
Sorry, Dr. Knight, I just have limited time. The other question I would say to you is does it make sense then, without their consent, to do experiments, first of all, on anybody, but certainly on vulnerable populations and people who may or may not be impaired by substance use?
I said this earlier in one of my comments. When we're doing scientific research, there are checks and balances in terms of the ethics and in terms of...
Dr. Knight, there was no checks and balances in so-called safe supply.
Hi, MP NACB. Thank you for taking our questions this afternoon. I'm Jillian Piper with Global News. The NDP and Conservatives have accused your party of being out of touch with the middle class. How do you campaign against that idea if you have a Bank of Canada governor, or former one, leading your party? Do you think any candidates will help you in that regard in the leadership race?
Well, let me first of all say that our government has been really focused on the needs of Canadians. The pandemic was an extraordinary moment in time, and we saw the impact of the pandemic, and our government worked really hard to make sure that not only we protect the lives of Canadians through that incredible public health emergency, but also support Canadians as we went through the pandemic. And since then, our focus has been to strengthen the economy in that post-pandemic environment. And I think all indicators demonstrate that economy is far stronger today than it was before the pandemic. Having said that, there's some real challenges that Canadians are facing, especially around cost of living and the threat that we see from the United States, and that remains the focus of the government. And I'm confident that all individuals who are remarkable people with extensive experience will be presenting their plan as to how we keep building Canadians, creating supports for everyday working Canadians, and ensure that our relationship with the United States works in the best economic interest of Canadians as well.